Hey y'all. So in this video, I wanted to talk about fitness, specifically how to stay fit in your 20s. Now, I'm sure a lot of you watching this have some basic knowledge of what I'm going to say in this video. I mean, we've all heard it. Oh, well, just go out and get a run in, or maybe just eat a little less, or oh, it's not that hard. Just go out and be fit, right? But it's it's a lot harder than that to actually stay fit and to commit to a fitness routine. And as someone who's actively struggled with this in the past and is still working on it today, I feel like I can give at least some decent advice on some easy methods to get started. Now, disclaimer, none of this is actual medical advice. If you are having some sort of issue medically, go to a doctor, not a random YouTube video. I am not a doctor, and I will not take liability for anything that could happen through following the advice on this video. That being said, I do have some general tips on how to stay fit while you're in college and while you're just an early adult. Starting out, I do think running is a fantastic way to just get a general level of fitness in your life. It doesn't have to be anything insane. Whenever I first started out running, if you could even call it running, most of what I was doing was interval training. This is the easiest way to get in the running and is something that I think pretty much anybody can do. Essentially, you go out and you set a time or a distance that you're going to run, and then you set a time and a distance where you're going to rest. So for me, whenever I was first starting out, this ended up being about a quarter mile of running, which in this case was slow jogging, very slow jogging, and then about a quarter mile of walking as well. I would do that until I had hit a mile, and that was my beginning of running. I did that for a couple of weeks, and then I moved it up a little bit. Okay, we can do half a mile of running, and then we'll go up to, a quarter mile of walking. All right, let's do that again, but let's do a full mile of running, and then we'll do a quarter mile of walking. And just slowly building up this level of fitness that you didn't have before. I know for me, it took a couple of months before that beginner pain for running stopped hitting as bad, and it is incredibly painful. If anyone tries to convince you that running is not painful, they are lying to you. If you've not done it before, you aren't that active, then it's going to hurt a little bit, and that's okay. There's always gonna be some natural amount of pain. Some advice I'd have for that is get a good pair of running shoes. You can get fitted for these. There's usually a store in every city that has the ability to fit you, and most of the time it's free. Or I would recommend getting a basic pair like the Nike Pegasus, the Brooks Ghost. Shoes like that are pretty much guaranteed to work for most people, and if you have wide feet, then just get the wider version of that shoe. Go up a half a size on whatever shoe you've been wearing. Coming from someone who worked in the shoe industry for quite a while, go up about a half a size from whatever you've been wearing. Moving on from running, I think walking on top of that is not bad at all. Just getting outside and getting moving is any amount of that is going to help out. Walking has been something where I've been able to rely on it on days when maybe a run or lifting hasn't been in the cards for whatever reason. I have a huge headache, or I don't really have time to do all of that, or I don't want to get all that sweaty because I'm going to work. Then just go out and get a walk in. It doesn't have to be anything insane. Walk for 20 minutes is going to be significantly better than not doing it. And that's going to be a big takeaway from all of this is any amount of exercise is going to be better than none at all. You don't have to be the fittest person in the world to, maintain some level of healthy fitness whenever you're just like an early adult, but having something that is going to make sure that you're, staying healthy is not a bad idea either. And that's just a big part of this is staying healthy. Like you see so many things online with the fitness industry of, oh, if you're not shredded, then you're fat. Or if, you have a little bit of pudge on you, then you're not healthy. That's just not how it works. Your goal shouldn't be to look like someone else. Your goal to find whatever is the healthiest version of yourself. And let's be honest, let's say you're in college or early adulthood, right? you are insanely busy. You're going to struggle to find the time to fit fitness into things, and forcing yourself into it's not going to help. Instead, just try and maintain a level. You don't have to be the fittest person in the world. You just need to be fit for yourself. I mean, it would be nice if I had, a six-pack and shredded abs and all the things that I want in terms of fitness, but I'm in 18 credit hours. I have a job. Like, the amount of time that I have to reach those goals is just unrealistic. And so instead of focusing on perfecting your body, just focus on being better than you were yesterday. If you can stay calm and stay fair to yourself about it, then at the end of the day, your body's going to thank you, and you're still going to have amazing benefits. Moving on from running and the more psychological element of it, another really important part whenever it comes to fitness is focusing on lifting. So your body is designed to lift heavy things. If you don't lift heavy things, your bones will start to lose density, and this can cause a ton of issues when you get older. Now, I'm a big runner. I don't particularly love lifting, but it's going to be incredibly important to be able to have some sort of background in lifting. Now, this doesn't mean you have to go to the gym and, you're cranking out 400 pounds on your back squat and you're doing dead. Like, it doesn't have to be like that. Even just body weight exercises are going to be way better than nothing at all. A good way to start out with this is honestly yoga. I get that that's probably not the most fun answer in the world, and especially for a lot of guys, you're probably not going to want to do yoga, but to that I say, get over it. It's not girly, it's just good. And even if it was girly, who cares? Yoga is a really good way to strengthen those parts of your body that probably haven't been used in a while. And especially if you're in early adulthood, maintaining a level of fitness in your core and a level of strength is going to help prevent any injuries that you could get throughout your day-to-day life, and in the long run you're going to thank yourself for that. I have a bunch of people in my family and my wife who are all in the fitness industry, and when you ask them what's the number one most important thing that you can do, it's lift heavy things. Now, that it does include your body. Most people's bodies are going to fall within a range of, about 120 to 250 pounds. If you're over that, that's okay. There's no shame in that at all, but that's kind of where you're going to fit. And so that's a lot of weight. I mean, there's nothing wrong with choosing to use that as what you're going to lift. That being said, don't go overboard. A lot of people will, they'll start lifting and they'll really enjoy it, which is great. But if you push yourself too hard in the beginning, you will get injured, and lifting injuries are terrible. They take a long time to come back from and are usually just not fun at all. So my advice would be, even whenever you're getting started, to take it easy. You don't need to rush through this. Fitness is a journey. It is not a moment. Give yourself a minute, get used to what you're doing, and build from there. For me, whenever I started lifting, it took actual months to get to the point where I could go most days and not feel like I was going to die the next day. Even if you're feeling really, really good, I would caution to just don't push it too far. Keep working and keep going at it, but you don't necessarily need to push yourself to the breaking point every single day that you're out there. Find a level, work on it, and just stay consistent. And that is the number one piece of advice I can give you. Consistency. None of what I've said matters if you can't stay consistent. Whatever that's working out, whether it's dieting, which we'll hit next, like, consistency is going to be the biggest thing that's going to get you to where you want to go. Going in, not every single day starting out, but eventually getting to the point where you're finding some level of activity every single day, whether that's walking, running, lifting, some sort of sport, just anything, is going to help in a way that is honest. You'll be amazed at it. Moving on from that, diet. Now, I am someone who has struggled a lot with diet. I would actually call that my number one biggest issue. And it's something that even now I still struggle with. I've had issues with eating disorders. I've done all that sort of stuff. So first off, if you have an eating disorder, trigger warning, like if you know that talk about it can trigger you, then this is probably the time to click off the video. That being said, we're going to keep it light. So when it comes to eating and calorie tracking and all that sort of thing, there's a couple approaches that you can take. There's the more modern approach, or I guess the more systematic approach, where you track everything that you're eating, you set a calorie goal, and if you're trying to lose weight, you set it below where you're going to meet. So if your maintenance calories are 2,000 calories a day, then you aim for 1,800 and you will lose weight. If your goal is to gain weight, then if your maintenance is 2,000 calories, then you'll set it at 2,200 and you'll gain weight. That's just how weight loss and that's how weight works in general. With that being said, there's a lot of nuance inside of that. First, finding out what your maintenance calories are is going to be incredibly important. So here is you can use calculators. There's a bunch of apps that'll do it for you. If you want to have a 100% sure way of doing it, my best recommendation would be to take 2 weeks, track every single thing that you eat, and then compare your weight. Take your weight every single morning. So let's say you're eating 3,000 calories a day on average over the course of 2 weeks, right? And let's say over that time you gain 2 pounds, right? All right, well, that means that you ate 7,000 excess calories, because 1 pound of fat, which is what you're gaining from that if you're not actively working out, is going to equal 3,500 calories. So you know that you overdid it by 3,500 calories. If it's 3,000 calories a day, then you can just do the math to subtract whatever 3,500 is out of each week. And so by doing that, you'll have an exact number of what your maintenance calories are. Calculators are also fine. They'll get it fairly accurate, but I would still do that at some point so that you at the very least know what you're working with. Beyond that, don't starve yourself. That is the number one most important thing. Whenever you're lifting, you will lose gains. If you're running, you won't be able to maintain it. You'll be too hungry. If you're trying to lose weight, the best way to do it is slowly. Speed and losing weight are not things that come in mind, and speed and gaining weight are also not things that come together. You're going to have to let this take time, but that's okay, because fitness is a journey. You don't need to rush through it. It's okay for it to take a while, and it is okay to not have days that are perfect. That's not the goal. You don't want perfection. Again, you just want to find a healthier version of yourself. If your goal is perfection, then you shouldn't let it be about this, because it's not going to get there ever. So that's a pretty broad view of how to stay generally fit whenever you're, an early adult, college, early life, whatever. If you do all of those things, then you will have a pretty decent level of fitness. There's a lot more nuance, and maybe I'll make a video in the future talking more about specific ways to improve running or lifting or whatever. But for now, thank you for watching.